अरिहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So today we will be studying chapter 7, the 14 Gunasthan or the 14 stages of spiritual development. This article has been taken from Gomatsar Jeevkand and it is written by Siddhant Chakravarti Nemi Chandracharya. So we have read the introduction in Vitrag Vigyan 1, chapter 5, Karma. But still we would like to go through the introduction of the author Nemi Chandracharya. So first we'll read the introduction and then we'll move on to the actual chapter. So Nancy ji, just read the introduction.
Yes, sir. Just give me 1 minute. I am opening the PDF.
Okay, I'm just make. Yeah, you can see on the screen.
Yes, sir. I also opened the lesson number 7, the Chakravarti Neminath Chandracharya. Just as a Chakravarti, with the help of Sudarshan wheel, conquers the 6 great lands, I, Nemi Chandra, have by virtue of my quest for truth assimilated the 6 divisions of the scriptures of Jain philosophy. Shatkhandagam. He was known as Siddhant Chakravarti, the repository of the all-pervading philosophy enunciated Digambar Jain order. He was a contemporary of the Jain king Chamundaraya, whose time is the first half of the 11th century. So he lived in this land. His great living works Gomattasar, Jeevkand, Gomattasar, Karmakand, Triloksar, Labdhi, Kshapanshar are shining examples of his extraordinary erudition and a full justification of the title Siddhant Chakravarti. That is a great master of the fundamental principles. On the persuasion of the king Chamundarai, he wrote Komatasar, taking the essence of all available works of the great acharyas Jeev Kand and Karma Kand are two parts thereof. The Shatkhandagam written by Bhutbali and Pushpadant, the disciples of the Acharya Dharsen, is the oldest work in the old traditional Jain literature. In the first part of this treatise, many traditional Jain literature, subjects from the soul and soul combined with the karma's aspects have been described. Keeping this in view, wrote Gomatasar and divided it in two parts, Jeevkand and Karmakand. Gomatasar is a regular textbook of the Jain Vidyalaya. In the first chapter of this great work, Gunisthans have been elaborately dealt with. This lesson had been written keeping in view of the deliberations there. For a wide knowledge of the Gunasthans, students are advised to study Gomatasar Jeevkand.
Fine. So this introduction we had already done, but still we read through it. The main part is about the Gunasthan. It comes under Gomatsar Jeevkand. It is the first chapter in Gomatsar Jeevkand. So anyways, we will be reading this whole chapter of 14 Gunasthan. We have a single paper for this in the Sem2. It is the paper number 3. 90 marks, full 90 marks on this 14th Gunasthan. So this chapter is just an introduction to the names and few of the common features of each stages of spiritual development. So we'll not go in very much detail, but still whatever is given in the textbook, that we will read. So now we begin the chapter, actual chapter, 14 Gunasthans. A few months ago, we studied Tattvagyan Part 1, Chapter 6, 5 bhavs, and in this, all these names you must have studied, but if you have forgotten, we will just revise it again. So from the beginning only, I think I will read only the introduction, and then we will do one Gunasthan each with each student. Out of the 5 bhavas, bhavas is dispositions of all the living creatures. Some have 2, some have 3, some have 4, and some have all the 5 bhavas. Now, what are these 5 bhavas that it is being talked about here? There are Aupshamik. Aupshamik is subsidential dispositions. Then second one is Shaik. Shaik is destructional disposition. Third one is Shayopshamik. Subsidential cum destructional. Fourth one is Odaik. Odaik is rising dispositions. And the last one is Paranamic. Paranamic means inherent nature. So if you have forgotten, you can just revise Tattvagyan Part 1, Chapter 6. These are the bhavas of the self. Out of this, the first 4, from the real point of view, though soul operated, conventionally are according to karmas. Karmas is missing, you can just write it down there. According to karmas, upsham, shay, shayopsham, and uday. Okay, so out of the 5 disposition, 4 are related to karmas. Okay. Which are the 4 one? Upsham. Upsham is a subsidential disposition. Then Shay. Shay means destruction. Then Shayopsham. Shayopsham is subsidential cum destructional. Then Uday is the rise, and therefore their names Opshamik, Shayopshamik, Opshamik, then Shaik. Shaik is missing. Again, this word is missing. Shaik, you can write it down there. Opshamik, comma, Shaik, then Shayopshamik and Odaik are meaningful. The name Parinam is given to the eternal. Eternal means the one who does not have a beginning and the one who does not have any end. Is given to the eternal. Same means Ekrup. Eternal is Anadi Nidan. Same means Ekrup, unified. Third is without the support of any karma. Karm Upadi Nirpeksh. Okay. So, devoid of karmic consequences. And the fifth one is easily natural bhav. Sahaj swabhav. Sahaj swabhav means natural state. And such a bhav is called the parinamic bhav. So we talked out of 5 bhav, 4 are related to karma. Either they are manifested in the presence of karma or in the absence of karma, but they do have a relation with karmas. The karmas are instrumental to these dispositions. Now the fifth one is parinamic bhav. This parinamic bhav is eternal. Eternal means beginningless and endless. It is same here they mean to say it is unified. It remains the same as it is. Then the third one is karmopadi nirpeksh. Without the support of any karma, devoid of karmic consequences. And the last one is sahaj swabhav, natural state. So such a bhav is called the parinamic bhav. Okay. So actually it is a substance. Okay. Parinamic bhav is a substance. And it's a not only a substance, but it is a pure substance. Okay. Pure soul. It is a pure soul and it is eternal, unified, devoid of consequences, karmic consequences. And the last one is it is in natural state. So this is called parinamic bhav, and it is devoid of karmic consequences. All the 4 were connected to karmic consequences, but this is not connected to karmic consequences. This is the major difference. And this parinamic bhav is the pure soul, where a seeker always want to take shelter in. Okay. These bhavas or disposition caused by delusion and activities of the mind, speech and body. These bhav caused by fluctuating. And now, what is gunasthan? Gunasthan's definition is with the instrumentality of deluding karma. Deluding karma is moh, and activity of mind, body and soul. Mind, body and speech. Sorry, mind, body and speech is योग. मोह और योग के निमित्त से होने वाली श्रद्धा और चारित्र गुण. Shraddha is a soul's belief and charitra gun is conduct. Okay. The fluctuating state of a soul's belief and conduct attribute is known as its stage of spiritual development. So there are two main factors. One is moh and the other is yog. So these are instrumental causes. And what are the principal causes? So the principal causes would be soul's belief and soul's conduct. Okay. These two attributes and the fluctuating state of these two attributes forms the basis of spiritual development. Okay. So now you know what is a gunasthan. So again, we come back to the textbook. These bhavas or the disposition caused by delusion and activities of the mind, speech and body. Okay. Delusion is a moh and activities of mind, speech and body is yog. Produce 14 stages of spiritual development which are called the 14 gunasthanas. Okay. So 14 stages of spiritual development, you can write, it's missing there, 14 stages of spiritual development, which are called the 14 gunasthan. Okay. So 14 is again missing. So you can correct these things. So while doing fill in the blanks in the objective test, these corrections will help you. Otherwise, you will write the wrong words, you know. So always mark it out whatever I say in the class for corrections. So
Sir,
there are,
excuse me, sir, 14 stages?
yeah, 14
Okay.
stages of spiritual development which are called the 14 gunasthanas.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Which are as follows. So again, now I have shared one page where, you know, not only the Hindi words, but English words are also given. Yeah. You can share it on the screen also. The first one is false belief or mithyatva. The second one is downfall from right belief, that is sasadan. Sasadan samyaktva. Actually, full name is sasadan samyaktva. Then the third one is mishra. Mishra means samyaktva and mithyatva. Samyak mithyatva. Okay. Mixed right and wrong belief. The next one is avirat samyaktva. That is woeless right belief. Woeless right belief. Then the fifth one is deshvirat. Limited woes of a householder. The sixth one is pramat virat. That is monk with mild negligence. Here it is written as pramat sanyat, but actually it will be pramat virat. Sanyat is also mentioned somewhere, but virat is a better word. Then the seventh one is apramat virat, monk with no negligence. So the sixth one was with mild negligence. The seventh one is monk with no negligence. Then on the eighth, we have apurva karan, unprecedented dispositions. The one we have never experienced before, apurva. पूर्व में नहीं अनुभव किया ऐसा अपूर्व. So apurva is unprecedented disposition. Then the ninth one we have anivrittikaran. Anivrittikaran, okay. No difference in dispositions. No difference in dispositions. The 10th one is Sukshma Samprarai. Samprarai means Kashai. Sukshma Samprarai is minute passions. Okay, minute passions. Then the 11th one is Upshant Moh. Here it is written Upshant Kashai, but actually it will be Upshant Moh. Subsidence of deluding karma. Subsidence of deluding karma. Then we have Shinmo, destruction of deluding karma. So first it was subsidized and now it is completely destroyed. 12th stage. 13th stage, omniscience with mind, speech and body. Okay. Sayog Kevli. The 14th one is omniscient without mind, body and speech. That is Ayog Kevli. So we have Sayog Kevli and then we have, of course, Ayog Kevli. So these are the 14 stages and I have given the English names also. So from the meaning only you can make out what will be the each stage, about. Now, one interesting observation that this Gunasthan in the definition we had seen that the Moh and Yog are the instrumental causes, okay? So, the whole 14 stages, first to 4 stages is just because of the Darshan Moh, okay, delusion. Then 5th to 12th stage is because of Charitramonia, okay. Charitramonia is conduct deluding. Then 13th is with mind, speech and body. And the 14th one is without mind, speech and body. So you see the first 2 categories is because of Monia karma, Moh and Yog. The last 2 is because of Yog. 13th is in the presence of Yog and 14th is in the absence of Yog. So this is how the 14 stages have come up and you just have to simply remember the fluctuating state of 2 attributes. Which 2 attributes we are considering? We are considering the belief attribute and the conduct attribute. Okay. Darshan Monia and Charitra Monia. Now, the first stage, Mithyatva, false belief. Mithyatva is false belief. Now, each student will read one. So, we'll begin with Aditi ji.
Just please, we are switch it on again. Mithyatva. The word mithyatva means untrue, perverse, false, or contradictory. The collective vow of those things whose faith of the purposeful substance, like the soul, are untrue, is called mithyatva gunasthan. Just as a patient suffering from fever does not relish sweet things, the person having wrong faith does not relish the religion of the soul, which assumes the 3 forms of right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. This means that he does not have the correct faith in spiritual experience, as also faith of the God, the scripture, and the monk. This wrong faith is of 2 kinds. 2 kinds, inherited and adopted. The current of the absence of real consciousness in all the creatures of this world, by which these develop the sense of oneness in inanimate objects like bodies and their instrumental attachments, etc., is called inherited wrong faith. In its presence, the perverse imaginary faith of creatures, not knowing the exact nature of things which is newly acquired, is called adopted wrong faith.
That's all. So, the false belief in what? False belief about the 7 fundamental elements. Okay. And because of false belief, the right belief does not manifest. Okay. Just as the patient suffering from fever does not release sweet things, the person having wrong faith does not release the religion of the soul, which assumes 3 forms: right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. So this means he does not have correct faith in what? In self and non-self elements, and spiritual experience as also faith of the true God, true scriptures, and true monk. Okay. So this wrong faith is of again 2 kinds: inherited. Inherited is agrahit, which has been coming from earlier births, is called inherited agrahit. And the second one is adopted or the grahit. Okay. The current of the absence of real consciousness in all the creatures of this world, by which these develop the sense of oneness in inanimate objects. Okay. Inanimate objects is jad, pudgal, like bodies and their instrumental attachments, is called the inherited wrong faith. Okay. So inherited wrong faith is there since time immortal, and that has been continuing. And the main cause is the not having the right belief about the 7 fundamentals. Okay. So now what is the adopted wrong faith? So in the presence of inherited wrong faith, the perverse imaginary faith of creatures, not knowing the exact nature of things which is newly acquired, is called adopted wrong faith. So in adopted wrong faith, people do get influenced by false god, false scriptures, and false guru. Okay. So that is the adopted, newly adopted in this birth. Okay. So basically the wrong faith continues, and because of this wrong faith, a soul suffers, experiences the miseries in all the 4 human, all the 4 staged, in all the 4 state of existence. Okay. So the chief cause of our misery is this false belief. Once the belief becomes correct, gradually the passions move away. The second one is sasadan, downfall from right belief. So you can always imagine downfall from right belief. Subhaji, you read the sasadan, second one. Then Prinalji, then Darshitji.
Yes, Jai Janendra. Sadhan. The affliction of right faith is sadhan. The modification associated with that is a sadhan. In a shamik samaya, samyak ananubandhi passion, as in that period of opshramic
So your voice is not coming, but I will read it. The full name of this Gunasthan is
The
Sasadan.
Gunasthan is Sammuhurat only.
Yeah. The word Samyaktva have been added on account of the logic of past association. So as you can see, the second one, the Sasadan, it is a spiritual stage attained while falling from the fourth. Okay. So downfall from right belief. But it has not touched the wrong belief yet. So it has fallen from the right belief, but it has not touched the false belief. Okay. So it is written here that. And the duration is very, very less, from 1 samay to at most 6 avlis. Now, by the time I say 6, there are innumerable avlis has gone. So 6 is a very small period of time. And this is only when it falls from the fourth, but it does not touch the first. It is in between somewhere. And this is called Sasadan Gunasthan. The full name of this Gunasthan is Sasadan Samyaktva. The word Samyaktva has been added on account of the logic of past association. Its time is Antar Murat only. So Samyaktva has been added because of the past association. Previously it was in Samyaktva, and now it has fallen from Samyaktva. Okay, but still it has not touched Mithyatva, okay, or the delusion. So it is written as Sasadan Samyaktva. The third stage is a mixed of what? Right and wrong belief. Mishra. Mishra is mixture of right and wrong belief. So you may imagine how it can be possible. Either it is a right belief or it is a wrong belief. But this Gunasthan has been written by, it has come into the, sermons of omniscient. It is so subtle that it is very difficult for us to even imagine also. Okay. But this is all known to the omniscient, and through his sermons, these things have come out. So Mistra, the third one, and Prinalji, you read.
Yes, sir. Mishra. The Gunastan having correct and incorrect faith at the same time in the fruition of Samyak Mithyatva Prakriti, that faith is called the mixed Gunastan. Just as we taste curd and sugar and enjoy its mixed taste, in the same way, person having such a faith has both correct and incorrect beliefs. Anand Anubandhi passion is non-existent here. The duration of this Gunastan is also Antar Murat. From this Gunastan, a being does not go to Deshvirat or Aparamitta Sanyat Gunastan and does not have age bondage of the next phases, death and Marnatik Samud Ghat.
So this mixed right and wrong belief, okay, it is having both at the same time. Okay. And the example given here is just as we taste curd and sugar. So curd is sour and sugar is sweet. Enjoyed its mixed taste in the same way person having such a faith has both correct and incorrect belief simultaneously. Anantanubandhi passion is non-existent here. So just because Anantanubandhi passion is non-existent here, so it is still a mixed state. Okay. If the Anantanubandhi passion comes up, then it becomes the first stage, the false belief. Okay. But that has not come. So it is a mixed state now. Anantanubandhi passion is non-existent here. The duration of this Gunasthan is also Antar Murat, as we have seen in the previous one. from this particular Gunasthan, there are some special conditions. A being does not go, the soul does not go to the 5th stage. Okay. So from 3rd, 5th is not possible. Or the 7th is also not possible. Deshvirat is 5th and Apramat Sanyat is 7th stage and does not have age bondage. Ayu ka band nahi hota. Okay, when a person is in this stage, 3rd stage, आयु का बंध नहीं होता. आयु बॉन्डेज ऑफ द नेक्स्ट फेज, नेक्स्ट बर्थ में कहा जाना है वो बंध अभी नहीं हो सकता. एंड इन दिस स्टेज द डेथ ऑल्सो डजंट हैपन. एंड द लास्ट वन, व्हाट डज नॉट हैपन? मरणातिक समुद्घात. समुद्घात, you know, समुद्घात is a I'll just explain you. Spreading the parts of soul outside the body. Usually our soul is inside this body, okay? But during this samudghat is a special condition where the parts of the soul, parts of our soul spreads outside the body limits, and it is vibrating, okay? And now what is a marnatic? So this is samudghat. And now what is a marnatic samudghat?
You explained does not have age bondage of the next phase. Can you please explain me?
Means this, when the soul is in 3rd stage of spiritual development, he does not bind age for the next phase. आयु कर्म का बंध नहीं होता, डेथ नहीं होता, मरणानिक समुद्घात नहीं होता. Okay, so these are the some special features of this spiritual 3rd stage of spiritual development. Now I was explaining marnatik samudghat. Samudghat, you now know, spreading the parts of soul, okay, outside the body limits, okay, and it is vibrating. Now what is a marnatik samudghat? An antar murat, okay. Antar murat is 2 samay to 1 samay less than 48 minutes. 48 minutes is murat, okay, and antar murat is anything less than 48 minutes. Maybe it can be 1 samay also or 2 samay also. Before death, and antar murat before death. So when a person is supposed to die, okay, so now he will leave this body, okay. So just 48 minutes before the death, Atma Pradesh of a soul, parts of that soul stretch to its next birth destination. It goes outside the body, it touches the next destination where you are going to take birth and comes back again. This is called Marnatik Samudghat. Now, why does these things happen? Because there are some karmas left over in this birth, so it has to be neutralized. So this kind of activity happens, you know, and it goes to the where he's going to take birth in the next birth, okay. So the soul goes and touches those parts and come back again. Except Kevli, all living beings experience this samudghat at the time of death. Only Kevli, apart from Kevli, all other beings, you know. So all other beings means me, you, all. Even the monks, all living beings experience this samudghat at the time of death. That's why it is so important that you remain calm and peaceful at the time of your death. Means like the time at which you will leave this body. Okay. So at that time you need to be very calm, and that's why people do special efforts, you know, they preach you, they chant Namokar mantra, and they utter the praises, the stutis and all, whatever the soul, that soul who is going to end his life, whatever he likes, that things are being recited so that he gets connected to it, and at least he leaves the body in a very good mood. So at the time of this samudgat happens, and that's why we need to be very alert when the death is near. This samudgat is of 7 types. Okay. Vedaniya, Kashai, Marnantik. Marnantik is what we just discussed now. Vaikriya, Tejas, Aharak, and Kevli. These are the 7 names. These are the 7 types of samudgat, out of which Marnatik samudgat is written here is the 3rd type. Okay. So what are the other types? Vedaniya, Kashai, Marnantik, Vaikriya, Tejas, Aharak, Kevli. So this was about Mishra. Now we come to the 4th one, Avirat Samyak Drashti, woeless right belief. 4th stage. Okay. So everyone is craving for this 4th stage, how they can enter this 4th stage. And once they enter, the path of liberation begins from there only. So everyone wants to reserve their seats, where? In the salvation. So this can be done right now. As we book tickets for long distance trains, we reserved our seat. We reserved flight tickets also. Okay. Similarly, by manifesting right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct, you can reserve your seat for salvation. And that is the 4th stage that happens in the 4th stage of spiritual development. Now, we have 15 minutes left. So, Jin Priya ji, no? No, Darshit ji. I have told Darshit ji to read.
Okay, Jai Jinendra to everyone. Avirat Samyak Drishti, the state of the soul with real right faith and devoid of real observance of rules of conduct, that is Anuvirat and Mahavrit, is the 4th stage named Avirat Samyaktva. The soul attains right faith with Shayoksham and other achievements, and with external conduct suitable for being in the 4th stage, by being in the vicinity of the soul with its efforts and with spiritual experience. This is to say that the being understands the real intrinsic nature of the soul, that he is the sentient supreme God, he alone being the knower, the rest the known, and that he does not have any relationship with the non-self entities. The unnatural manifestations of the soul are not in its nature. They disappear with the vision of the sentient nature and with oneness with it. They do not arise at all. This vision with determined decisive state touches the blissful and the detached state of the being, even when the intrinsic experience is lost sight of. The purity of the soul, consequent of the absence of the Ananta Nubandhi passions, persists and is called the 4th Gunastan of Avirat Samyaktva. It is of 3 kinds. First, Opshamik, second, Shayopshamik, and third, Shaik. Out of these 3, with any one kind of right faith, as long as this being holds the state of non-abstinence on account of fruition of apratyak khanavarnan passion, pride, deceit, or greed. He is in the stage of the 4th Avirat Samyak Gunastan. The being in this stage, being rich in the consciousness of the soul, naturally becomes indifferent to the sensual pleasures. From the point of view of Chanan Yoga, he has not renounced injury to moving and non-moving creatures and the objects of the five senses. Non-abstinence of the 12 kinds is therefore found in him.
So you see, this is very important, because this is what every seeker, always craving for this attaining Samyak Darshan, or the right belief. Okay. So some words, very good words used here. I am just reading the 4th line of the 2nd paragraph. This is to say that the being understands the real intrinsic nature of the soul. Okay. So he has the right belief. What is his true nature? That he is the sentient supreme God. Now my question, even if we don't believe ourselves to be sentient supreme God, does it make any difference?
It is important for us to understand that we are souls, sir.
Yes, very good. Good answer. So even if we don't believe ourselves to be, God, okay, but that does not stop us from being a God. Okay, we may believe that I am the king of this country, I am the prime minister of this country. You may believe, but you don't become one, no? That is the main thing. So by default, each and every soul is a supreme God. Okay, Paramatma. प्रत्येक आत्मा परमात्मा है. Now परमात्मा है, सो फिर हमें कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. तो कि नहीं, स्वभाव से तो आप परमात्मा हो, लेकिन पर्याय में अभी कमियां है ना, तो वो कमियां कैसे दूर होगी? How the blemishes that you have, the faults that you have will vanish. It will vanish only when you take shelter in your true nature, the Supreme God, okay? And you are only a knower, okay? And all other things are the Gne. Gne means the known. You are a knower, other things are Gne. And that he does not have any relationship with the non-self entities. So all the entities are independent of one another. Okay. There is no relationship with one. There is no relationship between a substance, between one substance and the another substance. Okay. There is no relation. There is absolute absence between the two substances. Okay. So we don't have any relationship with the non-self entities. I am the self. Everything else is non-self for me. The unnatural manifestation. So unnatural manifestation means which are not natural. The unnatural manifestations of the soul are not its nature. Okay. So the unnatural manifestations are not its nature. They disappear with the vision of the sentient nature. Okay. They disappear. When they disappear? When you take shelter in your center sentient nature. Okay. When you take shelter, when you look at it, okay, and with oneness with it. So you are not taking only the shelter, but you are having oneness with it. They do not arise at all. Okay. The unnatural manifestation does not arise at all. When we take shelter in our pure soul and we we create oneness with it. Okay. So then the unnatural manifestation does not rise at all. This vision with determined decisive state, okay, touches the blissful and detached state of the being, even when the intrinsic experience is lost sight of. So when the active consciousness again indulges in 5 sensory objects, okay, still at that time, the detached state of the being, that is a partial passionlessness that has been manifested, is still maintained. Okay. The purity that has been manifested, partial purity that has been manifested, that keeps on going on. Okay. Even if the active consciousness is indulging in 5 sense objects. Why this purity keeps on going, why the purity is maintained, is because of the absence of the anantanubandhi passions. Okay. And this is the 4th stage. So 4th stage has the right belief. The 4th stage has a purity. Purity of what? Purity in the absence of anantanubandhi passions. Okay. So this purity is always maintained. Even the active consciousness can indulge in 5 sensory objects, but still that purity of the soul is maintained. And that stage is called 4th stage of avirat samyaktva. 4th gunasthan of avirat samyaktva. Again, it has 3 divisions: opshamik, shayopshamik, and shaik. Opshamik is subsidential, shayopshamik is subsidential cum destructional, and the psych is destructional disposition. Out of these 3, with any one kind of right faith, as long as this being holds the state of non-absistence on account of fruition of apratyakhana varan passion. Okay. So there is an absence of anantanubandhi passions, but there is still non-absistence. Okay. You cannot renounce what? Apratyakhana varan level of passions. So you have got the better of anantanubandhi passions, but apratyakhana varan passions still goes on. And that stage is called the 4th stage of the avirat samyaktva gunasthan. This being, the being in this stage, being reached in the consciousness of the soul, naturally becomes indifferent to the sensual pleasures. From the point of view of Charnan Yoga, he has not renounced injury to moving and non-moving creatures and the object of the 5 senses. Non-absistence of the 12 kind is therefore found in him. So, in the 4th stage, this soul in the 4th stage, from the Charnan Yoga, he has not renounced violence. Okay, he has not renounced violence to moving and non-moving creatures, and he is indulging in the object of 5 senses. He has not renounced the objects of 5 senses also. Okay, so there is a 12 kinds of non-absistence. So moving is one bracket, moving creatures, and non-moving is another 5. So 5 plus 1, 6. So he has not announced violence to these 6 living creatures and he has not renounced the 5 sensory objects and the mind. Okay, objects of 5 senses and the mind he has not renounced. So therefore, total it is 12. Non-existence of the 12 kind is therefore found in him. So this is about the 4th stage. Everyone is just craving for this 4th stage, but this can only be achieved when you get the better of the wrong faith. Okay, so by sincerely studying the scriptures, your delusion gradually gets reduced. Okay, gradual. It's a gradual process, and one day comes when you have completely eliminated delusion, and that is the time when you achieve this samyak darshan or the right belief. So
there's a question, sir.
yeah, ask.
The 4th stage, as we discussed, is it like similar to Samyak Darshan, or is it before Samyak Darshan?
It is the 4th stage is samyak darshan only.
Okay.
So when you achieve samyak darshan, it is the 4th stage only.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So our time is over. So we'll be doing from 5th tomorrow. But still, let me take the 5th one. Otherwise, I will not be able to complete the balance tomorrow. The 5th one, Deshvirat, I am reading only. Limited woes of a householder. The aspirant in the 4th stage develops the purity of soul operation and attains the 5th stage. Okay. So by practicing descriptive knowledge that he has learned in the 4th stage, okay, by practicing that, he attains the 5th stage. The soul experience is now more frequent. Okay. So he's experiencing the soul very frequently now. Then in the 4th stage, the frequency is increased from the 4th stage. And the apratyakhyanavaran passion is also eliminated. So Anantanubandhi was eliminated, and then he attained the 4th stage. Now apratyakhyanavaran passion is also eliminated, so he attains the 5th stage. His peace of the soul having been developed, he becomes indifferent towards non-self entities and develops merits of Deshvirat. He begins to observe the rules of conduct, okay, as they should be, but his purity not being very forceful, he cannot accept monkhood. So he's now in the 5th stage, so he cannot accept monkhood, but being in the 5th stage, he at least has partial woes or limited woes. So he has been able to renounce partial sins. This stage is the 5th stage. This is called Vrat Virat or Sanyata Sanyat Gunasthan. For internally he follows real abstinence of the Sanyam stage, Sanyam Asayam stage, while outwardly he abstains from killing or injuring moving creatures, but does not abstain from killing or injuring non-moving creatures. The householder of this stage follows Anuvrat as a matter of course. Just because he has got partial renunciation, so he has renounced partial sins. So that's why he follows Anuvrats as a matter of course. Sentient Chulak, Elak, and Arjika of the 11th stage. 11th stage of what? 11th stage of Pratima come under this Gunasthan. Okay. So we did this 11 Pratima in Tattvagyan part 1. So this is all about the 5th stage, Deshvirat. So now from 6th stage onwards, we will do it tomorrow, and Tomorrow I may take few minutes extra, but it's all very short, So we'll be mostly completing. If it is required, I will take 10 to 15 minutes extra and we will finish this chapter. So the next week we can move ahead to the next chapter about Tirthankar Bhagwan Mahavir. So I would like you to read this chapter as a homework, and yeah, okay, you do this as a homework. I will do a summary. We will not read word to word, but we will do a summary. And then comes the final one, Devagam Stotra. This is a very good chapter and we will do it properly. Okay, so tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार। 9 बार नौकार मंत्र गिनेंगे। जय जिनेन्द्र।